Hi guys, welcome back. So today, as you can probably tell, we've bought a Range Rover. This is the cheapest Range Rover I can imagine you could possibly buy. Being a Range Rover, you'd probably think it's absolutely knackered and it's got no end of issues, which it does, but not mechanically anyway. This car is on 166,000 miles. It's a TDV8 and we only paid £1,700 for the car, which I think is an absolute bargain. The reason that we've got this car so cheap anyway is basically because a dog's been on the inside of it and ripped the hell out of it. The plan with this car then, of course, is to fix up the interior, clean it all up inside, and then we can get it on sale. So let me quickly show you around the car and I'll show you how bad the interior is. Right then, so a quick walk around of the outside, of course. The car's got xenon lights, as you can expect on a car of this spec, front parking sensors, and I think it's got some weird thing on the cruise control. So if you've got it on, it will detect how far a car is in front of you and it will automatically brake. I wouldn't rely on that anyway. Of course, it's got, I think, some 20-inch wheels on it being a HSE, some kick plates along it. They look a bit rotten, so we're probably going to take them off. Might even get another set. Got a roof rack as well, as you can tell. We're going to go and see a locksmith, of course, because we don't have a key for it, and then we can get a key cut and take these off because I think they look a bit naff. Got some mud flaps on here, of course, for when you go off-roading in your Range Rover. Parking sensors on the rear, and then it's got this button here, but don't know if that'll actually work. Not by the looks of it right now. Anyway, let's crack on and go in the inside. So here's the interior, and I think it's got what's called ivory interior. It looks great from this angle, but then when you come around to here, good God, it looks awful. The dog's really gone to town on this car, and of course we're going to source a new interior for it, which we should be able to hopefully get for a couple £100. Apart from that, the car's pretty high spec. It's got stuff like Harman Kardon speakers in it. It's got heated seats down here. It's got all this clever stuff down here for the four-wheel drive, which I don't fully understand anyway. But basically, all of that stuff works completely fine. Not that I've tested all of it, but suspension on it's okay. It doesn't have an issue there. Gearbox is fine. The engine is fine. Anyway, let me start the car and you can hear it. I love it because it's a V8 and it's a diesel, which is wicked. This thing will only do 25 miles per gallon, which is awful. Strangely, there's not actually any dash lights on here. Sounds pretty good, but it's a thirsty old girl, this. Let's see what we're doing. 26 miles per gallon, not great. Anyway, let me show you the back of it. I think that actually sounds wicked because I love a diesel, and of course everyone loves a V8. So this is everything combined. I wish they did V8 diesels in more cars, to be honest. So now what we've got to do then is get the old interior out, of course, and source a new interior, and then we can clean this thing up, service it, and put it up for sale. Let's crack on with it. Right then guys, so of course we didn't get a key for the roof racks with the car, but I went to see a locksmith and he managed to sort us a key out basically by doing some clever stuff, scanning the barrel and making a key based on what we had and a blank key. Then of course this fits in there, as you can see, and this means that we can actually get them all off now, which works perfectly, and of course they're all the same. And that only cost £20, which isn't much. Right, so I got the roof rack off now. It was fairly easy, of course. We just unlocked them, pulled the cap off, 6mm Allen key bolt on each side, and they literally slid straight off. And already I think that makes the car look 10 times better than it did. Right, so then guys, of course, now what we're going to do is we're going to get these old crappy seats out, give it a good thorough clean out while the seats are out the car, of course, and then we can clean the new seats and put them straight into the car. And another really cool feature in here as well, the rear seats in this are heated. I'm not sure if it's a rare optional extra on this car. As you can see, there's an absolute load of crap that we're going to have to clean out beneath this seat, which is disgusting anyway. It's one of those things that you got to do. So we're going to get this all cleaned up, get these seats out and put the new ones in. So then got news here as well, help me out, take the interior out, of course, doing what she loves doing best.
What, cleaning?
Yeah, cleaning, that'll be it. So then, of course, to get the front seats out, we just had to pop a couple of caps off and we get to the Torx bolts here and just behind here, and then there's another couple on the back. To get to the other bolts on the back of the seat, there's one here, here, and I think that might be one there too. So there's just a couple of plastic covers down there which you've got to pop off, and I've made the seat all the way forward to make my life a little bit easier so I can get these off without too much hassle. Right, and so to get the bolts out of the back, there's 4 along the back, as you can see here and here, and then there's the other Torx 50 bolts along here, and 1 in each corner, and then we should just be able to flip this back in and lift the seats out. We've got the interior out now. This car's filled with so much rubbish and so much crap, which we're going to have to clear out, give it a good old hoover up, and then go over it with a vax, which Anushka is loving using right now, as you can tell. So that's going to make a big difference to the inside of this car. And we've cleaned the roof lining up, just scrubbing it because it had a lot of dog hair on it as well. Here we're going to do exactly the same. Right then, so we've got the new interior in the car, as you can see, and it looks absolutely fantastic. Now it actually looks like a car again. We've given it a good thorough clean in here as well. Fitted some new seats, cleaned the new seats, and it looks great. Let me pop around the back and show you. As you can remember, it was absolutely filthy. We've given it a good clean, we've brushed all the dog hairs out, we've given it a clean with the vax. It doesn't smell like dog anymore, the interior is complete, and I think it looks fantastic. It's time to service the Range Rover, but before we service this, what I've been told by a mechanic, and somebody who's got over 30 years experience doing this, is that on these Range Rovers, because of the air suspension on them, we've got to raise suspension on it to its full height, because what we will do, if we jack the car up as it is now, its normal height, and we lower it back down, it will damage all the air suspension in the car. So then what I'm going to do is hop inside and show you how we're going to raise suspension and what we're going to do. To raise suspension in this thing, there's basically a button in the middle to raise it, and I'm going to have to turn the car on to do that. Right then, so time to raise it. Going to have to close the door to change it. One of the main faults on a Range Rover is known to be its suspension, as what can usually happen is a leak can occur or the pump can fail. It's a common fault on these, but luckily for us, this isn't an issue. Well, for now at least, anyway. Right, so the car is raised now. What I'm going to try and do then, I'm basically going to try and service it without actually having to jack the car up, because I just have enough room from what I can tell, so I'm going to give it a go. So thankfully then, in the end, I haven't actually had to jack the car up. I managed to get away with removing the tray into full access mode on the car. So to remove the tray, there are only a few 30mm bolts which we need to remove, and this will give us access to the sump plugs, which will allow us to empty all the old oil out, and we can give it a nice fresh service. So the weirdest thing about this car, it's got two sump plugs, not one but two. There's one here, as you can see, on the side, and then another one just down here at the back. I'm going to undo both of them. I'm going to start with that one at the back, loosen that one off, and then when that one's done, I'm going to move on to this one here and open that one up. Right, and so we just dropped the oil out. I undid the rear one first, and probably about a litre came out of that one, which isn't exactly much, but I've undone this one at the front, on the sides, and it's all come rushing out. And of course, we've already filled one of these up, and we're on to the second now. Now what we've got to do then is undo the oil filter, and a little bit more should come out. So now to get to the oil filter, just under this cover, found it eventually, right in the middle, nice and easy to get to. I think that's like a 32mm bolt. Here's the service kit. Basically, I've had to buy two of these because it uses 9.5 litres of oil, which is quite a lot of oil in my opinion, but it is a 3.6 V8. So anyway, there we go. All of this stuff here probably costs about £50, and we've got to do the air filter as well, and that was about £10. So all in about 70 quid, let's say, anyway, which isn't bad. And I've gone for a man filter because they're usually pretty good. Right then, so now it's time to do the oil filter. It's a 32mm bolt on top of that, and got the new oil filter here. And if you ask me, that is a pretty big old oil filter. Look at the size of it. Massive old oil filter. Anyway then, let's get that old oil filter out and put the new one in. So of course now we've got to take this old O-ring off, put the new one on, and we can put the oil filter right back on. Lube it up. Of course we've got to put it on the same way, so that little tab goes down in there somewhere. Lovely job. Right, so now of course we've got to do the air filter. There's just a few Phillips head here, here, and just a few around here. We're going to unplug these, and then we should be able to just pull this off, put the new air filter in there. Right, and so the old air filter's out now, and as you can tell, that thing is absolutely filthy. It's trash. Let's get the new one in there. Right then, so it's time to put oil in the car now. We've got to put about 9.5 litres in this car anyway, but we're going to put it in here, and then we're going to check the dipstick, start the car up, and check it again and make sure everything's okay. Right, and so now we've put about 9 litres of oil in there. We're going to quickly check the dipstick, see how much is in there, start the car up to fill the oil filter for it, turn it off, check it again, and make sure it's all right. It should be bang on. Right then, so the oil is just about there right now, which is on top limit. Of course, going to start the car and double check it. Right, and so we just started the car up and let it run for about 30 seconds. As you can see, it's literally just above the minimum line, so we're going to put about half a litre to a litre more in it, and it should be bang on in range. Right then guys, so now we've serviced it, we can of course give the car a nice old clean, give it a good detail, and then we can put it on sale. Another thing that we're going to be doing is the side steps on the car. They're absolutely rotten. If I stand on that, you can feel that flexing all over the place. It's like the Titanic. Right, so then now we've got them off. They're absolutely rotten. I think it looks a bit bare, if you ask me, without them, so we might get another set, but first we're going to give the car a good clean and see how it actually looks after we've done that. So then, giving the car a good quick clean. I'm not exactly a detailer by any means at all, but at this point as well, I'm washing the car, I'm kind of regretting that I actually took the side steps off, and I wish I left them on until after cleaning the car, because it was a bit of a pain to try and get the roof of the car. Anyway, it's all behind us now, but the car, it looks a lot better after this. I'm just going around trying to make it nice and clean, getting rid of the worst of the dirt on it, because it was absolutely covered in tree sap. Anyway, following this, what I'm going to do is I'm going to give the car a quick polish. As you can see, it's probably not the best, as you can imagine, but it makes the car look amazing. After this, give it a nice wax. Bear in mind, we've already cleaned the inside. It just transforms the car, really, and you wouldn't even think that it's actually the same car. I'm happy with it. Right then, so here it is on the outside, and it looks far cleaner and far better than when we actually got the car, as you can probably tell. So what we've done as well, as you can see, is we've removed the roof racks. It looks better without them. We've removed the rotten side steps. It looks a lot better without them. And of course, the biggest change is to the inside, where we've given the interior a fresh clean up as well. It's fitting some new seats in it because they were obviously torn up. Now, to me, this looks a lot better inside. Let's just pop the door and show you. So in here, everything's nice and clean as well, as you can see. We've got some nice new seats in here. No dog rests that have been chewed up. Dog rests, armrests that have been chewed up by a dog. Nice new armrest. The back as well looks fantastic. All nice and clean in there now. Complete interior. All as one. We've even gone to the effort of cleaning the roof lining. It looks great now. All we need to do is get some photos and put this thing up for sale. All we've got to do now then is go and get some nice photos of the car and we can put it up for sale. So then here we have the finished product, and to me it looks absolutely fantastic inside of it. You could never even tell that anything had happened to the inside of it, and it looks great. So then for the overall breakdown of the cost on the car itself from auction was £1,981, and that's including the buyer's fees on it. The interior, £280. £120 on fuel, £20 for a locksmith, £180 on tyres, and then £54 for its MOT. So that's a grand total of £2,635. In the end then, we ended up swapping this for something else and some cash our way, which you'll see next time. Anyway, I just want to say a big thanks for watching, guys, and if you enjoyed this video and you want to see more, then don't forget to tap down below, hit like and subscribe, and I'll see you then. Thanks guys, see ya.